Well, Bitcoin is below 40K today. Feel the pain today. Good and bad Bitcoin news. Mt. Gox are actually getting ready to sell down a lot of Bitcoin. We'll dive into it. China, they've also started money printing, and Trump doubles down on CBDCs. Not political, but we will dive into that. We have the Bitcoin ETF wallet addresses and BlackRock Bitcoin marketing. It's something else. It's very interesting. We'll dive into that. Some good news. Let's start it off with Jim Cramer. Let's inverse. Unlikely that Bitcoin finds its footing here. We'll dive into it a little bit more. So Mt. Gox, what's going on there? Mt. Gox was an exchange, if you haven't been around Bitcoin for a while, that basically lost a lot of users' funds. Really good reminder to get your Bitcoin off the exchange, hold in self-custody. But this is what's going on. So Mt. Gox repayments to customers who lost a combined 850,000 Bitcoin, now valued at 33 billion during its hack of 2014, appear to be progressing, with users receiving emails confirming identity and account details for Bitcoin payments. As this unfolds, we'll continue to watch it. It won't be $33 billion worth of sell pressure coming on. If people do get back a substantial amount, there may be a little bit more downward pressure for a little bit, but I'm actually not bearish, and we'll jump into why not. First of all, a big happy birthday to Max Kaiser. So this Volcano Energy, wishing a happy birthday to our chairman, Max Kaiser. The entire Volcano Energy team is proud of the significant role Max has played in the community. Max got the power. Max is an amazing man, maybe a little bit ahead of his time, and he has been the whole time. But if you take what he says and you extrapolate that out 2, 3, 4 years, you're probably sitting pretty at the end of the day. I think it's good. Let's jump into the numbers here today. If we'll do it this way today. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Local time 5:37 a.m. 827,038 for the block height. Exchange 39,229. Creeping up towards 2,600 sats. 2,549 sats per USD. It is another good day today with Bitcoin. I understand the foam. I understand the FUD that is going on in the markets. We will see max pain at some stage, and it's going to rip pretty quickly. Slowly, then suddenly is what happens with Bitcoin. So make the most of it. Obviously, not financial advice, but these opportunities, they don't last forever. So jumping to the rest of it here. Average block time is 9 minutes and 40 seconds, and we are under 13,000 blocks. 12,962 blocks to go. 23rd of April estimated for the block halving there. So we'll see if we get the 20th of April, that joyful number 420. It is coming down. If they stay at 9 minutes 40, it is very much a possibility. So in regards to China, what they're planning to do, it's not confirmed yet. And this article doesn't really make any sense. Bitcoin hasn't started pumping due to China's stimulus plan. Well, they haven't injected any money. And these things take a while to trickle down. Anyway, Bitcoin unfazed by China's stimulus plan. Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index and CSI 300 both responded to Beijing's plans to reboot China's domestic stock market, but Bitcoin remains in the red. There's a lot of fear-based mongering at the moment. Just a friendly reminder, if the one thing you take away from this video today is just stack, chill, relax. When in doubt, zoom out. We're back to where we were about 1 month ago. It's not that bad. So authorities in China are considering a true 2 trillion renminbi. I've butchered that. Wow. $278 billion plan. $278 billion plan to reboot the alien stock market, but the impact of the plan, which pushed markets in Hong Kong and the mainland into the black, doesn't seem to have trickled down into the price of Bitcoin. Remember, Hong Kong is looking at launching a Bitcoin spot ETF mid this year as well. So it is all lining up pretty good. The game theory is still in play. Max Kaiser says 220K Bitcoin is still in play. nations, they will fight to secure as much Bitcoin as they can, even if they don't know it yet. According to Bloomberg, Beijing is planning to use state-owned enterprises, offshore accounts, and local funds to invest in onshore shares through the Hong Kong Exchange Link and other yet-to-be-announced measures. Local stock market indices responded positively to the news. Hong Kong Hang Seng Index up 2%. It doesn't seem like much when you've been around Bitcoin for a while, does it? Only 2%. And the CSI 300 index of mainland China shares up 0.15%. Do need to take into account Hang Seng Index is down 31% over the past year, while the CSI is down 23%. This reported method of injecting offshore funds into the mainland stock market aims to boost liquidity and confidence. It's amazing. All of us here, money prints is great for number go up. I understand, but anyone that's read the book, shout out to Bitcoin Evangelism. I've got a tweet to bring up with Brian. But if you read the books and you understand what they're saying, money printing is not good, short or long term. You know, your friends, family, unless you're on a Bitcoin standard, are very much experiencing inflation. Now, not political, but I guess it is political. I'm not endorsing Trump nor dismissing Trump. I'm here in Australia, so take that with a grain of salt. Free speech, people don't like it when I bring it up, whatever. Chill. Trump reiterates anti-CBDC stance, credits Vivek Ramaswamy for policy guidance, a Republican frontrunner credited former candidate Vivek Ramaswamy for the policy. So Donald Trump has doubled down on his opposition to CBDCs at a rally. Laconia, my apologies if someone can say that phonetically for me there in the chat. Shout out to everyone in the chat. New Hampshire, Monday night. Vivek wanted this. I'll never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency, Trump said, referring to the crypto-friendly candidate Vivek Ramaswamy, a critic of CBDCs who reportedly suspended his campaign after a disappointing show in Iowa. This would be... It's glitching out, the Matrix. This would be a dangerous threat to freedom and I will stop it from coming to America, he said previously. Such a currency would give a federal government absolute control over your money. They could take your money and you wouldn't even know it was gone. That's why we don't like CBDCs here on the channel. Keep your friends and family informed. We will play a video if you can smash the like button for us. This is what Trump had to say in regards to crediting Vivek Ramaswamy. And I did say in a couple of comments, it did look like Vivek had a little word in Trump's ear, and we have seen this play out in real time.
And this I do for Vivek, because he's very big into it. I happen to agree with him, but he said, could you mention this? I will never. He said, I love Vivek. I love him too now. I didn't love him when he was running, but I like him now. It's amazing the way you can like somebody when you win, right?
Brutal.
But Vivek is great. He's really great. But he wanted this, and I'll give him full credit for it. It's very important, actually. I will never allow the creation of a central bank digital currency.
People are saying that Trump stole RFK's thunder. I'm all for everyone all around the world. Anyone that's running to be part of government, to be able to control the people. If they're against CBDCs, I don't really care who it is. I think it's a good message to be able to get out there. And I do see Orange Pill Dispenser. Shout out to everyone in the chat. I was rooting so hard for Vivek there. It is what it is. If, say, and again, not political, chill. Say Trump gets in, Vivek is looking pretty good for VP. Vivek is pro Bitcoin, so we'll see what happens and plays out. Now, checkmatey, if I'm not mistaken, Bitcoin ETFs are sporting 7-day trade volume. This is so interesting. This is fascinating. Of $8.7 billion. Total assets under management, $25.6 billion. Average daily volume, $2.6 billion a day. 10% assets under management. The largest gold ETF has average daily volume, $6 billion. Total assets under management, $55.8 billion. Bitcoin ETFs are already 45% in gold in both volume and assets under management. When flipning, Schiff is going to have a hard time this decade. And we've got a couple of things from Peter Schiff to get into. This is long, 4 minutes. We're not going to play all of it. She dives into the altcoins, which we're not interested in. At least I'm not interested in at all. Just what they have to say. And this is from iShares, iBit. We'll play it and listen to what they have to say on mainstream news. They could have been a little bit better, but they are talking to a different generation and class of people, so it's not bad.
I mean, I will say by every measure, this launch has gone incredibly well. We've really seen a groundswell of interest coming from many directions. When you look at volumes, when you look at flows, when you look at how the product itself is trading, the iShares Bitcoin Trust, what we like to refer to as IBIT, has traded more than $3.5 billion since its launch just a little over a week ago. We've brought in more than 1.6 billion in flows. We're the #1 issuer, new issuer, both in terms of volume as well as flows. When you look at the spreads, we're trading at a penny wide. This is exactly what you want to see. What we're here for is to provide investors access, and that's exactly what we're doing.
So what's next?
Yeah, so then they dive into the altcoin casino, which is a shame. Sooner or later, it's probably coming. It's not self-sovereignty. It's not freedom technology. You do you. I'll be stacking my Bitcoin, staying in cold storage. But it's pretty interesting, this message that is getting out about Bitcoin positively from BlackRock. They control the world. That's not speculation. That's a fact. Now, Brian Dement, he's the author of Bitcoin Evangelism. There is a link at the top of the description for his book. But a little bit of a meme. Life's too short to be so serious all the time. Tune in and hit subscribe if we vibe for F-Bomb Fridays. This is where we really let loose. And while you're at it, humble the like button. Brian says it very nicely here. Fridays we'll probably go a little bit harder on Dizzy Little Lizzie. But anyway, Beard is greater at Bitcoin at money laundering. I always worried who was actually buying Liz Warren's Bitcoin is for money laundering. It absolutely makes no sense. Cynthia Lumnis fired back as well towards Elizabeth Warren. It's great to see. Now, if you're going short, if you're going long, you're probably going to get wrecked. Probably just stack and chill. That's definitely the message here on the channel. It is the best long term. So over $250 million wiped down 24 hours, mostly on the long side. Meanwhile, all Bitcoin did today was become more scarce and therefore more valuable. This value always manifests itself about 9 months later. The people below, the degenerates, are still playing checkers when the game is 3D chess on steroids, especially now. Listen, the buyers now, the BlackRocks, Fidelity, etc., are different from the crypto bros you've all gotten used to. They're not the same as your YouTube influencers. Their Bitcoin wallets are rising every single day without even a pause. So in that regard, he's true in relation to me. Mine does not rise every day, but it does rise every week, and it doesn't go down. Now, their Bitcoin wallets are rising every single day. They've created entities for themselves called spot ETFs that are specifically designed to buy Bitcoin every single day of their existence. New breed of buyers does not scare very easily like you do. They're not dumb, and once locked in, stay locked in. What's more, they have more fiat than anyone can imagine. It's like $19 trillion worth of capital they can allocate the boomer generation. They do hold the world's wealth. This is their vehicle. I'm not for it. You need to hold it in self-custody, ladies and gentlemen. Do the right thing. Yes, there's a little bit of a learning curve, but to be your own bank, to be a self-sovereign individual, it does take a little bit of work. But when you sell Bitcoin now, you are selling to this new breed, a breed that doesn't just want to get off zero, but wants to get in with force and maintain a constant allocation to it. Over time, as their knowledge and understanding deepens, when they read the books, they will let Bitcoin go loose, go less and less. And if you're not careful, this new breed of buyer is going to ice you out of the greatest wealth opportunity the world has seen in a very long time. Don't get fooled by this trick. They knew the FTX selling was going to fill their bags. They knew they'd be able to take Bitcoin from those who get spooked by the GBDC FUD and FTX liquidations. Follow the money. If you do that, you'll see that the money is piling into their wallets in record-breaking amounts. Financial history is being made in front of your faces. Right now, this flurry of ETF buying has never happened before, and far too many are still going to miss out on what this means. Don't let it be you. Get your head straight and stack harder. stack, chill, relax. It's all good. Not Bitcoin related, but pretty interesting after the World Economic Forum. If this is true, Sweden has now announced they're reactivating civilian conscription duty after the military warned that people need to prepare for war. What is going on? The year of cases 2024. Just a reminder, the state hates you. WEF claims conspiracy theorists who question experts are more dangerous than terrorists. They are changing the narrative. It's George Orwell's 1984 playing out in real time. It has been for a long time. It's only going to ramp up more and more. CEO of Bitwise understands the mentality, at least, that you should take towards Bitcoin. Let's be very clear. The ETF is not real Bitcoin. Gives you price exposure, doesn't give you freedom tech. However, I can't believe that after all Bitcoin has powered through these last 15 years, not to mention 2022 alone, anyone would be feeling fear right now. Over some choppiness, the space is barreling forward. Optimism is the right emotion. And absolutely it is. So in 7 days, 23 hours, 8 minutes and 20 seconds, the FOMC meeting will take place. We will stream it live here. 97.4% chance we just get another pause. And we've been talking about as soon as March here on the channel that we get a rate drop. Maybe, maybe not. I'm still more in favor of that happening. Definitely not this meeting. Potentially it happens. And that's when I thought, even from last year, that's what I was saying. We'll see. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. It's all good. These things happen. Regardless, make the most of it. If we get a pause, we may see a little bit of a rally. Maybe we go sideways, up, down, and sideways. Make the most of it when we have the big red buy button. You just push it, 39,286.95 cents. There is the number of the universe, 69 in there. There was, and we will bring up another 69 very shortly. This dude, oh man, sorry, I didn't bring it up. Anyway, this dude, co-founder of the technology giant Palantir, says there is one type of Bitcoin buy that could be a very important AI agents. AI will use crypto to coordinate. Does talk about altcoins there as well. It's a little bit interesting. I don't think he's got all of it right, but it's a fairly interesting what he has to say in regards to the bots taking over.
I think Bitcoin is real, right? My question now is it's become mainstream to the point of ETFs. I think it's to be harder to go higher quickly now. Unlike it was supposed to be that everyone can get in now, and that all the ETF companies are going to need to buy Bitcoin to put it in the ETFs. To me, it's like if you bought it at $800 or $8,000. You were smart. You went through a lot of trouble to buy it. Now everyone can buy it. I think it's going to be here for a while.
There's not going to be a whole new financial story driving it from the side of buyers necessarily, although there's one type of buyer that could be very important here. AI agents are going to start doing a lot of things in our economy. And for AI agents to coordinate with incentive systems, they're probably going to use crypto. And so if this AI story works out in certain consumer areas, especially...
And then tokenizes everything.
To AI, yeah. Do you, Kathy Wood, 500,000, $1 million... And that's I can't believe any. Yeah, for
but is it? But they're not going to be trading Bitcoin. They might be using Ethereum. They might be using Solana. They might be using other things that they can tokenize.
Those are the three they might use, and they're probably all correlated at the end of the day. And the 500,000 story for me, Joe, is more about the macro question. Are we going to be in a massive deficit in 25 and 26 and spending money willy-nilly, irresponsibly? If so, what asset's safe? I mean, if you have inflation come up again, you have bonds sell off again with crazy government spending, that's a story I'm hearing from a lot of my friends who know macro better than me. You could see crypto do very well.
Yeah, we're not going...
Take out crypto, use it for Bitcoin. Somebody's asking why I'm a Bitcoin maxi. What I'd say to you, bro, is when you read the books, it all makes sense, yeah? Read the books. It's super simple. Crypto is all narrative driven. It's controlled by, like even the other day, there's a bug found within Ethereum. And it didn't lead to catastrophe, but it could have because it's so centralized. And a lot of people that get in there are hoping. With Bitcoin, that's the difference. That's part of the difference. And second 69, shout out to Matt Warren yesterday. I zapped your 69 sats on Nostos so you can end your day on a good note. I saw this first thing this morning, 69 straight up, 369, Tesla's numbers of the universe. Let's effing go. Thanks very much, Matt Warren. Appreciate it. Obviously, F1 Fridays are coming 5:35 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time, so do hit the subscribe for that. Now, Federal Reserve, they're a law unto themselves, and then we'll dive into a bit more Bitcoin news. So, 5:55 a.m., numbers line up perfectly. The Federal Reserve's Cabal internal review found fellow members did nothing wrong when they were caught insider trade, and this should make you angry. Those freaking kleptocrats literally control their money, and they're above the law. Fed leader Eric Rosengren, Robert Kaplan, my apologies, tongue twisted this morning. Never heard those last names before. My apologies. Forgive me. To resign following trade and controversy. So, Fed review clears central bank officials of violating rules. Inspector General says personal investment rules for top policy makers failed to maintain public confidence in the central bank. Absolutely disgusting. Samson Miao, the $1 million Bitcoin man. From what I'm hearing, a good amount of investors are still thinking Bitcoin will drop to the low 30K range and waiting to buy then. I think they'll be disappointed. I happen to agree, even if we chop around this, even if we go a little bit lower, 38K is what we called about 2 weeks ago. Worst case scenario, I only gave it about a 5% chance. It's potential, but it's a strong number there, so it's all good. Now, this is really good news. From now on, we will know exactly how many Bitcoin are owned by BlackRock, Fidelity, Franklin Templeton, and Bitwise. We miss ARK ETF, and then the biggest ETFs are all tracked. Breaking ETF addresses for BlackRock, Fidelity, Bitwise, and Franklin Templeton are now on ARK, and Markham has identified the on-chain location of 4 of the Bitcoin ETFs. We are the first to publicly identify these addresses. We'll get into a little bit more shortly from Hey Apollo as well, and we can show some graphs and where that money is going. Peter Schiff, the COPE. All the spot Bitcoin ETFs now in a bear market defined as a drop of 20% or more from the peak. The biggest loser is FBTC, and down 32%. I think the Van Eck Bitcoin Trust should change its symbol from HODL to GTFO. I think, Peter Schiff, you should change your name to STFU. Now, in regards to Peter Schiff, 10K invested 10 years ago in your fund is worth $10,620. Please explain this like I am a 4th grader. So, I don't know. Engagement farming is what I'd put it down to. Bitcoin, a little bit more good news. Jim Cramer, Bitcoin, a tough own. I thought I'd put that in there to cheer everyone up. And also this, harden up, folks. These happen. We haven't seen anything yet. Are we going to get those big drawdowns like the 76%? Maybe not. 50% still in play, of course. And that's part of being exposed to the greatest asset of all time. So, GBDC just announced 15K Bitcoin outflows, down 552 Bitcoin holdings. Total ETF flows have been negative last 2 trading days. Follow our ETF tracker for live updates. So I brought up the ETF tracker here. It's heyapollo.com. What I'll do is reshare Thomas's post here at Sean Clark 911. You can jump in there and you can see who's holding what. Grayscale 22 billion, BlackRock 1.347 billion, Fidelity 1.264 billion, Bitwise 425 million, ARK 21 380, 259, 92, 73, 48, and Wisdom Tree with $8 million worth of Bitcoin there. It's pretty cool, hey? It's probably never coming back onto the market, so maybe act accordingly. Regardless of crypto, millennial millionaires, 83% of millennial millionaires hold crypto. In general, millennial investors are more likely to hold crypto than stocks or mutual funds. And this trend is going to continue as that wealth transfer is happening. But even the ETFs may not be a bad thing if they don't control and they don't try to confiscate Bitcoin, which is definitely a risk. Say they don't do that and they just allow Bitcoin price exposure, and then that account gets handed on to the next generation, to their son, their daughter, whatever, whoever their heir is. As they pass, those people take out, and if we get in kind and they can hold real Bitcoin, it's net positive long term. It's not going to happen overnight. Again, from the CEO of iBit, don't be sad. BitB, my apologies, Hunter Horsley. Don't be sad that your Bitcoin is temporarily at November prices. Be happy that all the new investors coming into the space are going to have a nice cost base and be more likely to have a great experience here. Bitcoin is for everyone, even Wall Street, unfortunately. We won't read all of it. SEC says that hack job that happened was a SIM swap when they launched the spot Bitcoin ETF. They also turned off their 2FA 6 months prior. Was it planned and set up? Who knows? But why did they turn it off? And this is what I was referring to earlier. Hong Kong may see the launch spot Bitcoin ETF by mid-2024 per Executive Director of Cryptocurrency Exchange OSL, Gary Tu. So we'll see. We'll keep you up to date with that. And a reminder, when in doubt, zoom out. $1 a Bitcoin in October 2009 worth $400 million. Nobody's going to buy at that price and hold on. Some people, potentially. As of right now, today, I believe 20 years from now, people will be talking about how astronomical a $1,000 investment in Bitcoin at 40K has become. This phenomenon will never stop, as Bitcoin is mathematically designed to rise in value every 4 years, forever. It's going up forever. Laura. Greatest quote by Michael Saylor. Market cap 7. I get hung up on the 69. Third one of the day. They come in threes. 769 billion, 495 million, 48,128 for the market cap of Bitcoin there. If we jump into the charts a little bit more down, what I'm really interested in is 24-hour high and low. 38,520 is the low. So lowest we've seen. So it did go down to the 38s. It's come back a little bit. And 40,361. It's only a little bit, ladies and gentlemen. So down 43% from the all-time high, which was 469 for the day. 69,044 is actually a little bit more. It depends where you're getting the information from. 43%, this can happen overnight, ladies and gentlemen. All this is being sucked off the exchange. It's a good time to stack, to be able to chill. It's just TikTok next block, ladies and gentlemen. So that's the news with the fast facts. Shout out to everyone in the chat watching the replay. If you can do us a huge favor, humble the like button, hit subscribe for the daily news, F-Bomb Fridays, and I will be on Simply Bitcoin. It's like 2 a.m. Australian Eastern Standard Time Friday. Use a Google calculator to work out what that is in your local time, and then we'll go live with F-Bomb Fridays after that. Stack and Chill, shout out to Gargoyle, Cheesy McCheese, Javier, Holla Bitcoin Family, Outlaw. I saw the compass and square on your video yesterday. Are you a traveling man? The answer to that is no. Shout out to you though. And I'm still getting through all my comments yesterday from all you ladies and gentlemen out there. I will get back to everyone. There is one that's 6 days old. And if that's you, I apologize. I want to be able to have the space to be able to answer properly. That's my promise. If you send me a comment, I will reply to it. Hit that thumbs up, folks. Appreciate it. It's a wonderful day to stack some cheap sats. It sure is. Orange Pill dispenser 369. Fifth 69 of the day. Effing love Tesla. It's not Friday yet. I'm actually reading Tesla's biography. Cool book. I've only just sort of gotten into it a little bit. It's cool. Very, very, very interesting, man. G'day from Kalamazoo. Smashing the buy today. Well done, Chris. Orange Pill dispensers. Rooting so hard for Vivek. Seemed like a real cool dude. Maybe he gets in as VP. What do I know? I'm here in Australia. He does seem like a really cool dude. And maybe that was the aim the whole time. Who knows? Pretty interesting when Donald Trump said, I didn't like Vivek. Then I do like Vivek because I won. He's definitely an alpha male. He definitely rubs some people up the wrong way. Love him or hate him. Whoever's against CBDCs, it's a good thing just to get that narrative out there. Trouble is parties change in 4 years, then you overturn what was. G'day, Croc. Good to see you. Hope all is well. Dr. Mike, I replied to you earlier. Read the books, read the bugs. Amen. Morning, dude. Good morning. Sep is what I'm going with. My apologies. G'day from Cali, Southwest Carpenter. It's funny how all the selling is now coming out now the ETF has been launched. Makes me wonder if it's an inside job. It's interesting. What makes me wonder the most is what's going on with Grayscale. Having those fees so high, and people have been locked up for a very long time, since 2014. So it's... I guess I didn't expect it, but it's also not unsurprising either. Bitcoin's doing really well, holding above 38,000. If let's say it does drop below 38,000, the next one's like 34 to 36,000 or whatever. Don't try time it. It doesn't play out. There is a price of tuition. If you know how to trade, trade. Even Ollie, who's been a trader, and I bring up his tweets all the time, and the reason why I do is because he is a professional trader. He is a professional trader. He doesn't trade Bitcoin. He trades everything else and then puts those profits into Bitcoin. It's just a stack and chill. But in regards to GBDC, keeping their fee high, it's interesting. I don't know if there's a conspiracy around that or not. The WEF putting in a puppet as the CEO as well. And... I don't know. What are your thoughts, ladies and gentlemen? I really think something's going on. I think it's going to take us a while to unpack it. Or maybe they just think, hey, we may lose 20, 30% of what we're stacked, but at 1.5%, we're going to do really well, 150 basis points. Because there is only one Bitcoin. The ship coins are just fleas on Bitcoin's back. Well said, Gargoyle. Orange Pill Dispenser, Lark had a short today about the fatal flaw of Ethereum today was pretty good. When Skeletor did in the April Falls about how much better Bitcoin is than Ethereum, I said he's so right and flipped it all. Now, what's going on with Ethereum? If you're for being a fiat slave, Ethereum may be for you. Solana may be for you. If you're here for freedom, for truth, for light, it's Bitcoin. Now, Andy, what's going on with... Who knows, Andy, what you're referring to? I hope... Andy's good, so I'll look what they are, and maybe they're in relation to Bitcoin. I think every Bitcoiner is going through the journey of dabbling in shitcoins, but they nearly always cash them in for OG, that is Bitcoin. When you get into the space, to go into the space through crypto, understand, I think the longer people stay in crypto, that mind virus that gets planted in there, it's not good for your brain. But if you read the books and then you find out about Bitcoin, it really doesn't take that long. I think it's just a matter of education and information. Hua-Hin, g'day bro. Brendan, Peter Schiff suffers from myopia and clown syndrome. My heart goes out to his fiat brain. Maybe he's right in the short term. Long term, he's continually been a loser, to say the least. Greetings, Jim T. If I'm any good at what I do, Bitcoin will drop to 30K. Croc is a trader, so it will drop to 37,000, bounce between 37 to 40K until after tax season ends in April. Then we'll see a nice pump to 50 to 51. We'll find our bottom there until November. Love your stuff. Shout out to Jonathan. Steve J. Democracy can only thrive with a decentralized finite unit of account. Absolutely. If anything, all this has done is enable me to get back in at cheap sats. That's the attitude. Luke King, great update. Thanks very much, mate. Sean Van Dam looks slick, my man. Now, Tesla's life story is an example of when not to trust big money. They effed him up big time. JP Morgan, Tesla, it looked like he had created free energy that would go around the whole world. JP Morgan, the actual individual, not the bank, the individual JP Morgan gave him money, and it was like $180,000 or something back then, I believe. Numbers may be incorrect. JP Morgan went away, traveled somewhere around the world or whatever. And Tesla's like, instead of building it here, I'm going to build it twice as high or whatever it was, push it up a little bit. And to be able to get this energy to go around the world, JP Morgan came back, so the story goes, and looked at it, basically assumes that it would work, pulled the funding so he couldn't complete it because he owned a lot of copper. And all based on fiat electricity, so it would have destroyed his business model. That's what it looks like, and a lot of Tesla's documents have gone missing. Hello, is it only me that want Bitcoin to go down more like 30K-ish? Want to buy some more cheap sats? Maybe it will never be lower than 40K after the halving. At some stage, it never will be, so just stack and chill. I like the lower price. Definitely it's a little bit of a shock, but you make the most of it, and that's why I bring up the big red button, and you push it, and you just train your brain that it's all good. Come on down, Cashway and GW. Sure as that something's going on with these sharks are scum. GW, FTX courts will never buy off exchanges. You watch, they'll have OTC contracts with miners for life, but there's only 450 Bitcoin coming out a day, so even so. Knoxville, 2 more weeks till blast off. TikTok next block, ladies and gentlemen. It's been an absolute pleasure. Hit subscribe if we vibe. We'll see you tomorrow, 5:35 a.m., which is 7:35 UTC. And tune in for F-Bomb Fridays. It is highly profane, so you have been warned. We'll see you on the next video. Be blessed. Oh, and do something nice. Peace.